Okay, you guys. I forced you both to get on Clubhouse for Von Mack, and it's been a couple weeks, so you have to tell me, what do you think?
Hey everyone, welcome to the Tourism Tea. Thanks for joining us today. Team Von Mack is here talking about Clubhouse. And as Marika mentioned, she asked Nancy and I to join Clubhouse. And walking into it, I really didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what it was. And for those of you who don't know, you have to be invited to join Clubhouse. You can't just walk on and make an account and do that like any other social platform. So I got my invite and I went on and made my profile and started following people. And I approached it as the LinkedIn of podcasts in a way. So I went and followed marketing professionals and tourism professionals. And so when the groups that I'm seeing pop up are obviously all work-related. So looking at it that way, I haven't, when I'm on Clubhouse, it is work-related. I'm doing it during business hours. I'm listening to all of these different marketing talks. But that is kind of where I've drawn the line. It has been work-oriented for me. Have you had the same experience, Nancy?
Yes and no. So for me, I kind of had issues getting access to my account.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Whenever, so it took me a few days for my account to launch or whatever. And then, and so I joined all of the same tourism clubs, and honestly, I kind of thought they were boring. I thought they were, and so I started to really explore all of the other things that Clubhouse had to offer, just things that were in my interest. And so I started using the search bar to really, search for niche things that I'm into, and then I started finding clubs that were kind of cool, that are interesting. And then I started using at the bottom of the app, there's that little explore button. So if I'm logging on sort of late at night around 10 o'clock and there's probably not any tourism discussions, I can sort of explore and see what discussions are happening. And I think it's interesting because it shows you how many people are in the room and how many speakers there are. So I can find a room that has less speakers. Definitely. That would maybe give me more of a chance to be a part of the conversation. But I found some really interesting conversations about things that I would have never thought that I would have fallen into those rooms, about professional work-related topics and just random other things, hearing artificial intelligence engineers speak about different things. It's been very interesting. So I've spoken a handful of times. I've got more invites and more invites and more invites, and I'm sending those invites out to friends. And when I'm doing that, I'm actually thinking about who in my network is actually going to use this to benefit themselves? Are they going to enjoy this personally? And are they going to be able to use this to help grow their business as well? So I'm sending those invites out. I'm converting people into Clubhousers.
All right.
And, I still think that a lot of people really aren't yet in it. And I feel like for me, I still have to invest more time to find my club and to get to know people. But surprisingly enough, I found people in the New Orleans area in clubs, which was so cool. I found marketers in New Orleans and content creators in New Orleans and people in tourism in New Orleans, which is, this is a global app, and it's just so strange that we're not in a club for marketing or tourism yet. There we are finding each other, and that's really sweet and cute.
Yeah. It sounds like you had a pretty great experience, Nancy, and it seems like it's growing. I love that you took something personal from it as well as professional, and that I think that's an awesome thing about Clubhouse in itself, because it's got that authenticity and that personal connection because it's in the now. And Ethan, I do not blame you for that. I think for me, it's where people's comfort zone is, and if you're not comfortable, if you don't want to spend your time, sitting around listening to other people talk, that's not the medium for you. And I think that that's absolutely fair. And as we move away from a hybrid sort of way of life and hopefully get back to real life post-COVID and going out and going to real events, maybe that's where things will change with Clubhouse. But for me, I think it's really cool that I have a place where I can find myself in a room with, Shane from Tourpreneur or Grimes. It's kind of crazy. It's the only space where something like that would even ever be thought of, which is kind of neat. And I think, Nancy, you were talking the other day about how you found yourself in a room that was, what is God, and it's like, I I would have clicked on that one too. That's pretty amazing. But yeah, in terms of tourism, I'm seeing a lot of people, definitely shout out to Christian Watts for this mass movement of getting people into Clubhouse and hosting all this wonderful content and making it alive and inviting speakers like myself and some other wonderful people out there to have this conversation and to be available for other people in tourism. I found another great space for women business owners in tourism, and I'm in works with someone else wonderful to kind of create a room for that, something kind of ongoing. But I think that for Clubhouse specifically, to me, it's in the air. It's going to pan out. I personally don't have a ton of time to listen all the time, to other people speak. But when I do, I pay attention. And I will tell you that when I first started Clubhouse or got onto Clubhouse, I had COVID and I was sick and I was in bed, and I could barely, I was just so tired. So that was the perfect time to join because I was literally in bed listening. I had time to listen and to explore. And that was almost the only advantage I had to having COVID, aside from never hopefully having it again. But, I think that once you find yourself acclimated to it and you connect, as you guys said, with the right people so that you can see their rooms in your hallway. And I'm learning to speak. It's the hallway that you find when you first log in. It's the hallway and you're walking into rooms. That sounds a little creepy in retrospect, but that's what it's called. And you find your home rooms and the places that have the coolest stuff, then, maybe that'll be something you return to on occasion. And at least it's something else, another way for us all to speak to each other and to connect. And we've found likes on Instagram. I've gotten new connections from this, and it's very, very interesting. So with that, I think we will end because we can talk Clubhouse forever because we're still figuring it out. But if you guys ever want to join, we have invites and we're doing a room. Sorry, Ethan. We're doing a room every week to follow up to the tea. So thanks for joining us. This is the Tourism Tea. I'm Marica.
I am Nancy and I'm done speaking.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is the Tourism Tea. Join us on Thursdays at 2:00 in Clubhouse to continue this discussion.